what up, y'all? Welcome to No Fluff TV. I got a special episode for y'all, and I got a couple guests with me. To my right, I got my man. I call him Timbo Slice. You want to give any
Tim Gear,
Yeah.
just a regular guy looking for the truth, searching for information. Every day, just trying to seek new knowledge and express different opinions and collaborate. That's about it.
Right. And I got my man Colwin to the left right here. Got anything you want to say? No?
Yeah, Colwin Stevens. I've been giving my life to the Lord since 18 and been on the journey ever since. Became a minister around 20, so I saw the good and the bad of the Christian gospel. So continue to seek the truth and, been through seminary and everything else with a lot of questions. And, I just found out you just have to continue to seek the truth, even in the Christian surroundings. So,
yeah.
That's what I'm here. Talk, have conversations, and continue to learn through questioning. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and so, we just appreciate y'all watching. And, we all have, this question now. It's like we're living in an age where information is, at your hand. You can literally go on Google and search whatever you're looking for. And a lot of times, even in our personal lives, we're looking for the truth.
Mm-hmm.
We all want to find out what is life really mean. Do we have purpose?
Mm-hmm.
And all of those things. And a lot of times we get these different perspectives, these different thoughts. You have some churches say you just eat and be happy. You have people saying turn to God. And some people just say live every day like it's your last, and do whatever you please. And so with all of those questions going on, we're gonna find out different views of what you guys consider truth, and we're gonna start like that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start off with I guess from the beginning, right? So we know that we hear God to be Jehovah, Allah, the new term that I think is becoming popular, the universe, Jesus, we hear him to be Buddha, the Hindu gods, whatever. It's a whole bunch of names out there. And so let's start off with who or what is God. Let's start with Tim.
Of course you will. God, the best way I can answer that is, first of all, you gave the dissertation. I want to have an open mind. I don't want us to view it one way or the other, just an open mind. With that being said, God, the term God is Greek. So based on the research that I've done and the evidence that I've seen, our ancestors, the oldest people that we can find in history based on Google or the library or anything, they never saw it as a God. They saw what's responsible for all of this to be the Creator, the Most High. And so for me, God is everything that has vibration, everything that has life, everything that has a spirit is a representation. And we're all just a manifestation of the consciousness of the Creator. It's thought, it's energy, and it's just that simple. I think we complicate it. We give it a name, a gender, an image, but it doesn't have an image, just a spirit.
So you're saying God is not a unit, or
like you said, it's universal.
It's universal. So you would speak to God by saying, "Hey, universe."
No, I don't speak out. I speak in.
Okay, speak in. Meaning what? What do you
mean?
Like you wouldn't pray. You would just talk to yourself. Is what you're
like
saying.
I said, it's thought.
Okay.
A lot of times, I think one of the earlier conversations you and I had, we talk all the time.
Yeah.
And one of the earliest conversations I remember having with either you or someone else was that the difference between religion and spirituality is, in religion you look for God on the outside, deity. In spirituality, you look for God within. And so, just like the Bible states, the God is within all of us. But where we get confused is the context of saying God is within all of us. So we think the deity is in all of us, when really the energy of God is in all of us. So when I talk with the Creator, it's not a Creator, please do this, I want this job. No, it's, you make affirmations, really.
So
you don't ask the universe, you tell the universe.
Got you. So are you saying that we all generally have a relationship with them to where we can just go talk to them automatically?
You don't have to talk.
What I'm saying is just
right,
communicate.
Right. Generally speaking, we all do, yeah.
Not necessarily going to a room and say, hey, God, can you come out and I want to talk to you?
Right.
More so of like,
internal.
God, Okay. So you're saying we all have that,
we all have that birthright. Even the atheists, they may say, I don't believe in God, but what they're indirectly saying is, I don't believe in these deities that y'all are talking about. Gotcha. I don't believe these deities are responsible for this world that I live in. So they throw it out.
Gotcha. So to make sure I'm understanding you correctly, God is everything with vibration.
Good, bad,
everything. And it is not outside, it's inside also.
Absolutely.
Okay. Colwin. Who is God? Who and what is God?
Well, I feel like the same thing. God is our creator. He is who he says he is, especially in his word. And I feel like, our understanding of God shouldn't start at the beginning. It just really start at the ending. And I think that's when we have some problems, because now we are having to follow one course because it might impact our future, heaven or hell. And because of that, that's when it relates us back to the beginning. And if you don't want to adhere to those things, then it's easier to. Now, if we just had heaven, that was it. If everybody was going to heaven, we wouldn't have many conversations, because no matter if it wasn't based upon how you live and the things that you do, you can live wherever we want to and still go to heaven. We don't have a problem. So I think because there is circumstances to the way that we live on earth. Now, when we look back in the past, we now have a pick and choose what fits our life. You know what I'm saying? But just like he said from the very beginning, since we have so many people that believe in a God, that means there has to be some type of absolute truth that there was a God. So which one is right? It's not, a pick and choose, Hindu, Buddhism. Everyone has a form of religion and spirituality, but which one is right? So if there's a flood story and all these different beliefs, there had to be a flood story, but which one is the right one?
Right.
So that's the kind of way I look at it. There is a absolute truth to all things.
Right.
But which one is the true thing? So when I actually look at, the Bible, God talks about who he is, his name, God, and Bible is a translation or transliteration, however you want to look at it, of original text in English. So we're already looking through a view that's already been a little changed. You know what I'm saying? It's not the original words that was there. So when we're already looking through whoever translated that, they're going to put it in a certain context and a certain understanding. And I think that's why a lot of us as African Americans have some of the troubles, because we know that it came through a certain frame of mind, with slavery and things like that nature. So that changes our context of who God is, because how can we receive, just be honest, the white Jesus? We see the Jesus and how can I associate with that when I'm living in America, being enslaved by Europeans and going through certain things? So that changes so God to me is our creator. He loves all races, all people is his creation, but he does have an agenda for us to be on earth. So, that's when it comes into Adam and Eve, that they actually want to make themselves gods because they didn't want to adhere to what God was saying. So that was the big temptation in the garden, is that they didn't want to listen to God. They wanted to make their own way, their own will. So, and that's what we still do. I feel like we're still doing today. We still want to make our own way, so now we can be God, instead of listening to the one God that is, created from the very beginning of time. Not created, but who is from the very beginning of time created all things.
Gotcha. Yeah. And so, being that you said that, God has an agenda. What would you say the agenda is, or do you agree with that?
That God has an agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does? Or?
Well, I pause because, again, we're using different terminologies.
Okay.
He does,
Okay.
him.
So you don't believe in he?
It's not a gender. I don't
Okay.
believe it's a gender. I believe we aren't even a gender. We're a gender because we're in a physical body. Spiritually, we're spirits. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have... The intelligence of the spirit is enough. You know what I'm saying? So, if I died today... okay, so when you die, what do y'all believe happened when you die? Because I don't want to, I don't want to throw a curveball and throw the whole conversation off. But let's say I died today and my spirit ascended and it came back, recycled, reincarnated. It could be in another body, right? It doesn't have to be a girl or a boy. The spirit itself is the spirit is your personality, your characteristics, what makes an individual sensitive, or what makes an individual happy. We look at someone like, as an example, and I'm not going to go too far away from what you're saying, but as an example, Hitler, one of the most evil people we could think of in our time, in this century. So, he was a Christian. He thought you didn't know that? So
No,
he thought what he did was right. He thought he was doing the will of God.
Mm-hmm.
Who are we to say that he's wrong or right? That's why I say, even in the Bible it says God created light and darkness, good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
That's a product of that. We are a product of something different. And so, with that being said, who knows? Hitler may have been reincarnated into Jeffrey Dahmer. It's a totally different person, same gender, but the gender doesn't matter. So when you speak of, I wanted to ask him about heaven, but
yeah, shoot.
You mentioned heaven. What is heaven to you?
It's God's kingdom.
What's the kingdom?
Kingdom of God, His domain. Kingdom means the king's domain. So His domain.
So it's a house.
Well, even in Genesis, Revelation talks about the city of God, paved streets, and it is a place.
Okay.
So heaven, and then He said He was going to create a new heaven and a new earth.
Right.
So that's also interesting about. But He said He's going to be a temple and won't be a source of light, that He and Jesus or the Lamb
mm-hmm.
will be the ones that's reigning and will be the source of that light. So,
okay.
So it's a place,
Okay. And see, to me, heaven and hell is just levels of consciousness. Today I'm great. I have a child on the way. I'm in a happy relationship, having an interview with a great crowd, great audience. Tomorrow, everything could be upside down. I could lose my job, lose my woman, my kids may disown me. That's the state of hell. Or even not even that far. We could have the interview right now and have differences. And, of course we good. But I might be like, well, I don't want to finish this interview. It's just out of hand. And I raise what? You know what they say.
Yeah.
So the same way we use the word is the same way we formulate the thought.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing exists without thought. So when you speak on language or the kingdom only exists because you can see it, right? You say, okay, they gave description. Streets paved with gold, pearly white gates. Everything is beautiful because in my mind I can see it. But the thing is, what does an illiterate person see? If you explain that to them, they all over the place. You're like, just calm down and accept Jesus, accept this and accept that. They can't accept that because they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But they do have a mind, though.
Mm-hmm.
And my point is that it's all about perceptions. If you read the Bible for what you see it to be, rather than what it told you it was, then you're lost. You're lost in saying that Jesus walked on water, He turned water to wine,
mm-hmm.
so on and so forth. These are descriptions that the Bible gives you, but the Bible told you how to read it. But I think when we read it, we get lost in what it told us, and we receive everything for face value. You say, oh wow, okay, pearly gates, okay, cool. Well, you forgot about the fact that you're a spirit, and that the Most High is a spirit. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. So how's a ghost going to enjoy a street? Or gates? He's going to float right through. Well, you don't need a gate. So if you base heaven off of a physical destination, you're off track, in my opinion, because heaven is here. And when you die, based on how you view life to be while you're alive, is how you pave the way for afterlife. So even if you do reincarnate and you're that spirit returning, well, your responsibility today and therefore after is to create a better spirit like a real Christian would do, right? They'll say they're very kind and they're soft-spoken, they treat others how they want to be treated. They treat people with the golden rule. Simple. I told P, I don't disagree with the Bible, I just don't take the stories to be literal. Mm-hmm. I take them to be, it's like mystery school. I told you Jesus had mystery school.
Yeah, this is our mystery school.
So mystery school is where, Jesus was born into Judaism. There was no J, so it was Yahuda. And he was a Nazarene. So let's base it off of today, right? I'm a non-believer, but I'm a good person. So in the earlier days, in ancient times, and again, another thing is these stories are retold, like you said earlier. You have the Hindu, they're all very similar for a reason. So at this point, the Jesus story is that he grew up in a certain way, and then he changed that way, and that's why he was persecuted, because he changed it, right? Mm-hmm. The change that he got came from being taught in Egypt. I know you don't like that, but
no, you're saying that Jesus learned.
Mystery school. Moses, same thing. Before Moses fled, he went to mystery school, and a lot of his learnings came from Egypt. And mystery school is kind of like how we view Masons today, how they know something different, and they have a different enlightenment on what we view. The way we see the world, they don't see the world. They decode everything. They sit different. So if you're a Mason at a certain level, a certain rank, whether you're Scottish Rite or whatever you are, 33rd degree, things are different in your world. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, you learn something in a occult system, which is not evil, it's just a hidden system.
Okay, well, what are they learning? Where are they getting it from?
Well, I'll be honest with you.
Them thoughts had to, like you said, originate from somewhere.
Well,
so they had to be
it's
a
said,
person.
Based off of history, which is written, and people can Google this, that the ancient schools are said to have come from Africa, whether it be Ethiopia or whether it be Egypt. It just depends on who you want to give the credit to. But these schools of thought was not meant to be a negative thing. It was meant to be a higher level of spirit, like voodoo, black magic. We're taught that that's all bad. Oh, don't do that. Oh, that's evil. You know, you watch a movie and they incorporate that into the movie. But that's how you hide the truth, is by putting something evil on it. You know, one man's God is another man's devil. And so if I'm a devout Christian and I say Jesus is the way, and in the Bible it says, you know, don't study the stars, and but it also says the sun, the moon, the stars are aligned. You're not worshiping the stars, you're acknowledging the stars. Mm-hmm. But the industry, I don't know what we want to call it, I will say, but I'm not going to use Illuminati, mm-hmm. But the industry will teach you things that they don't want you to know and put it in a negative light so you don't learn it. And that's really what it is. So the mystery school that Jesus went to, or any other deity that we have acknowledged over the years, Buddha, whatever, they all went to mystery school, which is just symbolically saying that you, yourself, in the Bible, to me, Jesus is us. He is at a higher consciousness that we need to be trying to get to.